Like, he puts pressure on guys without throwing too many punches, and then starts to figure holes out, and the way he can explode and move in with one shot, my God.
Yeah, he very explosive. He's very explosive, man.
Shakur sees that. He's anticipating something to come. He knows he's going to explode in. So what does Shakur do? Teo takes a big step in. Shakur takes a big step back. You know, again, always understanding because he has great eyes. You know, great eyes, understands boxing very well and movements.
Joe Rogan is very surprised by Shakur Stevenson's strong, muscular body before his fight with Teofimo Lopez. He praises Shakur's special defensive style and great fighting skills, calling them amazing. Rogan says Shakur's top physical shape helps him move faster and hit harder, making him stand out in the ring.
Best Philly shell since Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
His defense was incredible.
Yeah. Defense, and he stayed, and that guy was putting the guy from Golden Boy, I can't remember his name, who he fought, but was just a good fighter and was really pressuring him. And Shakur stayed in the pocket.
Yeah.
He stayed in the pocket.
He also said he's not going to fight
him a
that
runner
way
before.
anymore.
He's not a runner, yeah.
But he said after that fight, I'm not going to fight that way anymore. He said I took too many shots.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he wanted to like put on a show and show everybody he's not just a runner. He could stand in the pocket. But then he's like, why am I doing this? I'll box the shit out of these motherfuckers.
Yeah. I mean, he's a silver medalist, that guy.
Yeah. Oh, he's elite. He's elite.
Yeah.
And just one of the best, like, as far as skill.
What do you think of Crawford Canelo?
Shakur Stevenson's team shows strong focus and discipline as he gets ready for his next fights. Every training session is planned to improve his defense, speed, and skills. His coaches focus on accuracy, fitness, and smart planning. This hard work shows in his strong body and calm mind, making him a tough opponent and a true professional. Tim Bradley explains the upcoming fight by comparing the different styles of Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. He says Lopez uses fast, explosive moves to create big power, often pausing before attacking so he can strike suddenly. Shakur, however, is great at controlling distance, using smart footwork to limit his opponent and control the pace. Bradley says footwork will decide the fight, as Shakur can stop Lopez's power by staying balanced and reading his attacks. This matchup is exciting because it pits quick defense and skill against raw speed and power.
It's the feet. The feet is what gets you in position to be able to land those shots. You know, footwork is extremely important. When I look at both these guys, and I look at Shakur's footwork, I look at Teo's footwork, and what I noticed about Teo's footwork in particular is that in order to be able to throw the amount of power that he has, you know, I've noticed with Teo, there's always a subtle pause before he actually explodes. And Teo's a guy that likes to explode into contact, like to explode into his opponents, man, to land his offense. You know, fast, you know, twitchy type muscles, you know, fibers, you know, he's extremely fast. You know, some may say that, you know, his twitchiness kind of reminds him of like Roy Jones' type of, you know, movements, how quick he's able to close that distance on his opposition. However, he's in there with a guy that is a master at controlling distance. That's like he's a master at literally, you know, getting in his position, right, in a position where he wants to be and taking away your positioning. And with doing so, he takes away your feet, you know, and that's why I think feet are going to be extremely important in this. You know, if you can keep your opponent off balance, for instance, let me just give you an example. It's like Teo explodes. There's a subtlety before he explodes with his offense. And as soon as Shakur sees that, he's anticipating something to come. He knows he's going to explode in. So what does Shakur do? Teo takes a big step in. Shakur takes a big step back. You know, again, always understanding because he has great eyes.
Ryan Garcia confidently says that Shakur Stevenson will win his upcoming fight. He highlights Shakur's speed, strong defense, and smart ring awareness as big advantages that can help him beat any opponent. Garcia believes Shakur's ability to adjust during the fight and stay calm under pressure makes him very hard to face, even against Teofimo Lopez. He adds that Shakur's mix of quick movement, accuracy, and smart strategy puts him in a great position to win. Garcia's prediction shows strong trust in Shakur's full skill set, and he feels that if Shakur follows his game plan well, winning the fight is very possible.
We need some real boxing guys in this thing.
Yo, who you got, Shakur or Teo?
I got Shakur Stevenson beat him.
You got Shakur? You don't think Teo's gonna win?
Nah, bro. Nah,
Damn, bro, I'm not gonna lie.
That's
I got
crazy.
Teo too, bro.
You guys got Teo? How much you guys want to bet, bro?
I got Teo.
How much you guys want to bet? Anytime.
Bet, bro. I don't got money compared to you.
Nah, I'll bet. Hey, I'll bet in your tax bracket, bro.
100. Let's do 100.
I'll bet 100, bro. Let's
bet 100.
Yeah, let's do 100.
Shakur Stevenson is under pressure going into his fight with Teofimo Lopez, as some people question his game plan and recent fights. Critics say his resume may not be as strong as others, especially when compared to fighters like Gervonta "Tank" Davis, who has shown size, speed, and power against top opponents. While Shakur is respected, some feel his past opponents like Zepeda were not elite, so those wins mean less. Shakur's style focuses on defense and controlling distance, but some worry that against a fast and powerful fighter like Lopez, avoiding action may hurt him. Many think he may try to stay on the outside instead of pressing forward, making the fight about timing and stamina rather than heavy offense. In the end, while Shakur's skills and defense are clear, this fight will show if his style can handle Lopez's speed and power, making the outcome hard to predict and very exciting.
Like hoisting up Shakur Stevenson, his resume is not really that deep if we're really being fair. And I would challenge y'all to compare it to Gervonta "Tank" Davis's resume and then really like look at who they were, look at Tank's frame, look at Shakur's frame, and tell me what looks to be more special. But here you got Shakur being like hoisted up and praised nonstop, but then a lot of the same analysts, when they talk about Tank, they're like, oh, man, Tank's disappointing and Tank needs to fight someone and his resume is not that good. Who on Shakur's resume is just like this world beater? People always talk about, oh, Tank don't have Hall of Famers and don't have good fighters. Ryan Garcia is a dangerous fight. He has one of the best left hooks in the game. He was undefeated. Undefeated fighters could be stubborn, and he's definitely bigger than Tank. Even Shakur, he would probably be bigger than Shakur, but it would at least be closer. So for me, it is more impressive seeing the smaller guy like Tank produce that type of punch and power and being there with the giants and guys like Frank Martin. To me, I would rather have seen Shakur, Frank Martin, like they were supposed to fight, but it fell apart over money, than the fight with Zepeda. Especially, like I said, Zepeda coming off 2 performances where he arguably lost both, if not one of them, and was exposed and dropped in the fight. You know, Teofimo, I think that's a good name for Shakur Stevenson, but the fight hasn't happened yet. So we have to see what it is. But all this talk about like Zepeda being, who was that good? Robinson Conceição really should have lost to O'Shaquie Foster. They rematched, and then he did lose. He's cool. And he lost to Valdez before Shakur fought him, and Shakur missed weight for the fight, right?
Shakur Stevenson says his motivation comes from always wanting to push himself to the limit. He does not look for easy fights, but instead wants opponents who challenge him both physically and mentally. Every fight helps him sharpen his skills, learn from different styles, and prove he can adjust under pressure. His strong competitive mindset keeps him disciplined in training and focused on smart strategies, so he is ready for anything in the ring. For Shakur, success is not just about winning, but about rising to every challenge and growing as a fighter. This constant search for tough competition helps him keep improving, making each fight a step toward becoming stronger, smarter, and more complete in the sport.
Mistakes. I think I'm gonna capitalize off those mistakes.
But bro, what is it about you that has you, looking at a fighter that you know is the truth and then saying, I want to fight him? It seems like it should be normal if you're a fighter, right? But that stuff is dying off in the game right now. And I feel like you one of the last of the dying breed that actually want real challenges.
Yeah, I'm competitive, bro. So it's like I want to be the best. So when I see certain guys out there, and I seen Tio his last fight, I was there front row, and I'm like, damn, this dude is like, he like a baby Roy, like he like doing things with his hands down, flashy. And I thought it was cool. So it kind of made me want to get in a ring with him and see if he could do them things against my style.
Your last fight was against William Zepeda in July, and you fought a totally different way. It wasn't the easiest way or the best way to fight, but I think it was good for you and your development because it not only sent a message to the rest of the division, one up, your division at that time, and then the one above you, but it sent a message to the fans. But I think it also did something for you to prove to yourself that, man, listen, that wasn't like my best performance, but I showed you I can get it out the mud. What did that performance kind of do for you now that you look back at it?
Honestly, I think like styles wise, I think that Zepeda's style is the style that's supposed to give me the most trouble. Like guys that box and give me time to think is the guys that's gonna have a fit with me all night. But the guys who press me and put me against some ropes and throw a million punches, that's the style that's supposed to give me trouble. So I went out there and I prevailed against that style, and now I'm fighting against a boxer, which for me it just makes it more fun. I don't have to deal with a guy that's trying to like wear me down so much.
Right.
So now I gotta play chess. I gotta do what I do best, play chess. So I can't wait.
Shakur Stevenson's strong sense of responsibility in the ring makes him different from many fighters. He trains and fights with discipline, always knowing his choices affect the result. But facing Teofimo Lopez is a special challenge. Lopez's speed can break even the best defense, so Shakur cannot take this fight lightly. Every punch, fake move, and step from Lopez needs full focus and quick reactions. Even with Shakur's great skills and defense, speed can create openings that plans may miss. To win, he must balance discipline with the ability to adjust, stay sharp, and react in the moment. Shakur needs to respect Lopez's pace while following his own plan, turning responsibility into smart, effective action instead of confidence that goes too far.
Lopez will rise to the occasion and be prepared for that fight. So I feel like Shakur has to keep that fight in the middle of the ring, use his counter ability. But if Teo's speed is a problem, I think Shakur is going to run into a lot of problems. But if Shakur is the faster fighter with the good reflexes to counter, he'll be fine, I think. But, Teo says a lot of crazy things that, a lot of us don't agree with. But at the end of the day, the dude can fight. His last performance, he showed him that his levels to this, right? Lopez is on a whole different, I'll say, category when it comes to boxing that Shakur's at. I think this is a great fight. I'm going to go ahead and give my prediction. If these two fight, it's going to be kind of like a Floyd versus Zab Judah-ish, or I'm going to say Zab Judah. I know Zab Judah is a different fighter than Lopez, but I think what's going to happen is going to become a chess match. Who can counter who? Lopez, I think, will get hit early and start respecting Shakur's power. I think Shakur will keep everything to the middle of the ring and be able to adjust with his movements, his counter ability, and his defense. Like, he's able to make those adjustments that are very similar to Floyd. So I'm going to go with Shakur on this one. But you cannot sleep on Lopez because he comes to fight. The fight that he shocked me was against Lomachenko. He came ready for war. And I think Shakur, he's starting to, get fights that are kind of setting him up for these mega fights, and he'll be prepared for that. I don't see Shakur beating Tank. I'm going to tell y'all why. Tank, speed, and ability to get inside, I think, is going to give Shakur a lot of problems. But if Shakur could keep things in the middle of the ring, he should be fine. It's all going to be up to what Shakur, how he wants to fight it. I wouldn't have him go on the ropes again, and I don't blame him for moving more in his next few fights, because that last fight, He didn't move too much and gave us. We just wanted to see him fight, right? And we know he could fight, but you can't do that with every boxer.
The fight between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson is expected to push Lopez to his limits. Analyst Henry says Lopez performs his best when facing top opponents, because real pressure brings out his full potential. Against a fighter like Shakur who mixes speed, accuracy, and smart ring control, Lopez must adjust fast and improve every part of his game. Henry explains that a fighter's true level depends on the challenge in front of him. This matchup will test Lopez's strengths and reveal his weaknesses, showing how well he can think and plan during the fight. More than strength, Henry believes mental toughness and smart decisions under pressure will decide the result. Overall, this fight is a major test of Lopez's growth as a boxer and forces him to rise to a level only elite competition can demand.
Teofimo Lopez needs opponents like Shakur Stevenson because they are elite fighters. He needs that to bring out the very best in him. I just can't see how it's possible that whilst Teofimo, we've seen a ceiling with him in terms of he's been beaten by certain opponents, we know that he can lose in the ring. But I don't know if that's a genuine ceiling, because I think that his ceiling is actually one of the most changeable in boxing based on who's in front of him. And so actually, I think there's a very, very good chance we're going to see the best possible version of Teofimo Lopez in the ring against Shakur Stevenson. But we should talk about Shakur Stevenson before we get into the nuts and bolts of the fight, what it might look like, and why it is so risky for both men. Now, Shakur Stevenson is currently undefeated. He's 24-0 with 11 KOs. He turned pro back in 2017. He's the same age as Teofimo Lopez at 28 years old, both men in their athletic primes. He's 5'8". These are on paper heights, so potentially a little bit shorter. He could even be a bit taller than Teofimo Lopez. I really need to see them next to each other to make that assessment. No lifts in the shoes, all that stuff. But around the same size is the most important thing. The difference, though, with Shakur Stevenson is he's actually a 3-weight division world champion, and he started a division lower than Teofimo Lopez, meaning naturally it would appear that he's slightly the smaller man. Although that doesn't necessarily mean they're now not the same size. He could easily have filled out to be roughly the same size as Teofimo Lopez is on the night in the ring. Now, for me, I'm going to jump back to 2021 to first start talking about Shakur Stevenson, when he managed to get a win over Jamel Herring. Again, he'd had significant wins before this fight, but it was the first one where I really tuned into his career. Notable wins had already come against Joet Gonzalez, Jeremiah Nakathila, but no one that was really a household name. Maybe Joet Gonzalez. No giant names. Jamel Herring was the first one where I was like, I know who Jamel Herring is. He beat Carl Frampton. He beat Lamont Roach. This is a very, very decent operator. And what can I say? I mean, Shakur Stevenson just absolutely dominated him and TKO'd him in the 10th round of their fight. But this was a really, really landmark, standout performance from Shakur Stevenson. The talent was there for all to see. Everybody could tell this was a serious professional fighter.
Bruce Carrington says Lopez often has trouble with opponents who move smoothly and change angles a lot. Shakur Stevenson's quick movement and ability to shift positions in the ring could take advantage of this weakness and force Lopez to adjust quickly. Carrington explains that winning this fight is not just about power or aggression, but about how well Lopez can read and react to fast movement. If Lopez fails to adapt, he could be open to counters and smart setups. Overall, this fight tests Lopez's flexibility, with Shakur's fast and changing style likely to control the pace and decide the outcome.
I feel like Teo is going to bring the fight. He's very athletic. He has a lot of explosiveness, and but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? We've seen, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep Teo moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. Like, so, I don't know. We've seen Teo get frustrated to the point where he's asking himself, do I still got it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
Do you think that his experience on the biggest of stages, his two biggest wins, he was an underdog. And both guys, ironically enough, were southpaws like Shakur. That play any factor to you, man?
Nah, styles is different. The styles are totally different. Lomachenko don't fight like Shakur. Josh Taylor don't fight like Shakur. Like I don't see, just because southpaw
that same thing will happen. I feel like certain techniques could be used to fight Shakur, yeah, but in terms of like that approach of the fight, nah. Like Shakur fights totally different. You gotta be able to do some out of pocket stuff with Shakur. You gotta throw while he's throwing. That's probably some of the only times that he's able to get hit.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned and see you next time.